Good morning and welcome back. How was everyone's weekend? Um, it's the morning weather show with Investigator News, and we have a lot of fun in the mornings. And I got some uh, kind of different news, a lot of alligator news. What is it with the alligators? I guess they're attacking people down in Florida. They got a increase of alligator attacks. Darn gators. Where are the gator hunters? I thought they over hunted gators and there was a lack of. I guess not. So time to get what's his face from the gator hunters and get him over to Florida and start gathering up some gators that are biting. They say even the little guys are biting. The youth are aggressive. What is making alligators aggressive? Um, well, I think I know, but I got to wait till the next hour to tell you why I think alligators bite. So anyway, um, good morning and wow, weather. It looks like we got a cooling off coming. Sounds like a volcano went. And I watched Dutch Census last night. He was on the other night. Wow, there's a lot of weird things going on. Just when we thought that we saw the La Brea tar pits bubbling, we got Hudson River bubbling. Why? Ooh, I'll tell you all about that coming up. So the weather is going to get cooler. Yes, everybody up in the north breathe a sigh of relief. It's going to get a little cooler up there in the north. Does this mean a harder winter? I sure hope so. I'm dying for some cooler weather. So I'm going to get on with the news or get on with the weather, get on to the earthquakes. We got more. It increased over the last few hours. So there was like 39 of them this early this morning. We're up to almost 50. So the ground is a rumbling. All right. So, and I didn't get the craton the mid craton picture for you. I was looking for the same one Dutch Census got. So here we go. Let's get on with it. Let's be surprised who does the weather.
Here's a look at your national
Oh,
forecast,
good.
and
It's
it's been
Miss
a while since
Davis.
we've been able to talk about some cooler weather. Well, we had that up to the Midwest. Take a look at Minneapolis, 78 degrees for the high today. That's all due to a cold front. It is still hot, though, in the Northeast, hot and humid all the way down to the south. Now, that cold front is going to slowly progress throughout the week. So notice how rain stays in the forecast from the Northeast down into the Ohio Valley and down to the south, but the temperatures will start to come down as well. So on Wednesday, 79 degrees for the high in Lexington. Now you're still going to have a little bit of humidity, but it will be a noticeable change in the temperature. There's a look at Thursday. Now out to the west, we have monsoon season that is ramping up, and we'll continue to see not only heavy rain, but frequent cloud to ground lightning as we get through, especially the middle and later half of the week.
Did you notice that Laredo's over 100? Phoenix, the whole West Coast is close to 100 degrees. Wow. I don't know if they're going to get the cooling. Mary, you looking forward to the cooling. I think you're going to get it. I don't know if we're going to get it or not. I keep looking at the weather channel and I never catch it when it's my weather. Um, let me move on, get up the earthquake map. Um, yes, a big yes for the cooler weather. I think it's going to sink down to the south. Normally, we don't see cooler temperatures until the end of September, believe it or not. And then October, it's like this brisk, cool thing that hits our state, and then it gets really cold. Um, I need to get rid of this weather map. Okay. Yeah, well, it's 48. It dropped. It dropped. It was over 50 this morning. So it has dropped with these earthquakes. And the recent one being down there in Puerto Rico at 3.8. But oh boy, I don't even know where to start. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, huh? Let me I'll move this up a little bit, see what we got down there. All right, just making sure we don't got some in the range I can't see. I think I'm gonna start over here with Mid Atlantic Ridge 4.4 because I've been watching Iceland, and because Iceland got a good sized jolt last week. Oh, it's loading again. And then I'm gonna go down here, way down to let's see what this is. Chile, off the coast of Azen, Chile. It was a 5.7. And then we had an aftershock of 4.8. Then I'm going to go over here because Dutch Sense was talking about Greece and how active it was. And when I pulled it up this morning, it's not so bad, but the ones and twos are really, really active. So we're looking at uh, deep earthquakes, he said. And are the deep ones better than the ones closer to the surface? Um, I tend to believe those are the ones that are the bigger ones that last longer. The ones on the surface, I think, living in California all those years, that they cause the most damage. Um, so he's looking at deep earthquakes. So we had one down in Mexico, Cabiza, Mexico, a 4.2. I don't want to miss this one over in Peru at 4.7s. Um, he's expecting, well, he said there was a 6.0 over towards Japan, um, is what he was saying. Well, it was in Indonesia around there. And he said it was really odd. And he said, what's going on over there? It was close to Taiwan and Indonesia and Japan. And then you know what? It got quiet. Huh? Did we catch something? Did Dutch Sense catch them doing something? Uh, HARP can do low earthquakes of about in between a 2.5 and a 3 if it wants. And who has HARP? China, we do. Europe does. A lot of different countries do have HARP, and they can cause a low rumble. Um, all right, over here to Banda C at 5.6. Then we go up towards the Philippines, a 4.7. They are still rumbling. Um, we have over in Pangai, Tonga, a 5.2. And then right next to it with the Fiji Islands, a 4.4. I know you guys want me to get up over to the United States. Um, Unalaska or Unalaska. I guess it's Unalaska, 3.8. Whatever happened to Rats, Alaska? Southern Alaska, 2.7. Karen likes all these names over here in Alaska. Valdez, Alaska, 2.5. Um, we haven't had a real bad oil spill in a long time. You notice that? We had quite a few. And because it's only because I seen Valdez. We haven't had a real bad one, Mary. If you notice that in the last, I'm going to say close to 5, 6 years now. I find that kind of odd. Okay, Houston, Alaska, 2.5. Now let's get over to the United States. Um, we had one in Port Orford, California, and this is, Oregon, I'm sorry. The thing with Oregon, they don't report their earthquakes very often. And they have been reporting these ones in Port Orford. So I'm kind of wondering if they're having more and they're kind of getting squirrely about it. And then we had one in Ferndale, California. That is close to Petrola, real close to Petrola. So you might as well be saying Ferndale, Petrola, Eureka. And that was a 3.0. Now we had two of them right here in Walker, California. Walker, really an odd place, a very odd place. Then if we go over to the Craton now, Soda Springs, Idaho, and the Craton runs pretty much all the way down the Rockies. It goes all the way down into Texas. It shoots over to Oklahoma and then goes up the East Coast. And Dutch Sense, this is something he watches a lot. So then we had one in Ackerley, Texas. You know what happened to the ones in Texas or White Sands, New Mexico? Now we get this one out of the blue in Ackerley, Texas. So I'm agreeing with Dutch Sense, saying something very odd is happening with our planet, and it's rumbling. It's very much alive, and the um, ring of fire is very, very active. That I did notice when he had it brought up, and I thought he would have said, "Hey, look at the ring of fire! Look how active it is," but he didn't say it. Mary, do you watch Dutch Sense? I don't remember if you did or not. I think quite a few viewers do. So if you don't know who Dutch Sense is and you're new, he does earthquakes on YouTube, mostly on Twitch, though, if you want to watch him a lot. But every so often he does do an earthquake report on YouTube. All right, so let's get to some of this other stuff and the best, some of the best funny news you can find. We have here. Um, so the experts, let's get to something just a little bit serious for a second, are puzzled by bubbling in the Hudson River. Now I found this out through Dutch Sense, and it's really odd. You know what it reminds me of is when some of these gas lines that are real close to rivers, they seem to come up and they bubble uh, um, gas, and you could actually set it on fire. I wonder if anybody's tried torching these things yet, see if they light up little fires. Because get this, not only is this by a gas line, but it's by a major a pumping station, is what Dutch Sense is saying. And he GPSed it. He got up really close, and lo and behold, or it's close to a nuclear site, is what it was too. So there is a lot going on in the Hudson. So if you are around the Hudson River, I would stay out of it. And those, are they using it for drinking water? Do you know, Mary? Um, because that would be dangerous. We don't even know what's in it. And I'm not sure if I could show it. Um, uh,
Water weirdness
no,
on the
they're not
Hudson
going to
River
let
in
me show
Rockland County.
this. Definitely not going to let me show it because it's CBS. They got it. They had a story on it um, basically a couple weeks ago. So now Dutchson's just recently reported on this, but come to find out, this river has been bubbling for almost a month. Now, where's the news on this? Boy, I tell you. How come that if CBS did report it, it wasn't a strong enough report to warn people because they say that a lot of people are still around the Hudson. They're swimming in it. Isn't it the dirty water? I'm not sure. Now, I'm not sure what's up there by Hudson. I'm not. I'm way down in the south and from California, so and California's got some dirty, icky water. I tell you. Um, I don't even know if I would even go in the Sacramento River at this point. I In the 70s I was baptized in the Sacramento River. Now that it was nice back then. It was fun to float down and swim, but I don't know. I'm leery of the rivers now in California. So the experts are puzzled by this bubbling, and they say that they're determined to find the source of the bizarre bubbling on the shorelines. Um, they said it seems like a freak of nature, but let's see. It is adjacent to the Bowline plant, which burns natural gas power. So it sounds like something's up with their plant. And this was a month ago, and it's still bubbling today. So what have they done? What have they done? This would be a part of the infrastructure bill, people. If we could get an infrastructure bill that's honest by these politicians, this is something that they address. There is some sort of issue at the Bowline plant, and we need to get this fixed. So anyway, I don't want to get into politics. So surfs up, dude. Mary, surfs up, dude. What do you think of surfing canines? Um, this happened over the weekend, and I thought it was pretty funny because you can find it online. And what it is dogs compete um, surfing, and these dogs love to surf. And they say that a 7-year-old lab, Charlie, who started surfing at 2, he won second place. Um, so who I'm trying to see who won first. Now get this, they have small dog groups include dogs from 1 to 20 pounds. The medium dogs are 20 to 40 pounds, and the very, very large dogs are 41 pounds. So it's not just little guys that get on these boards and surf. Um, it's I'm wondering if I could briefly show this. This is just too cute. Well, that guy got pushed. All right, I can't show too much of it because they'll get me for it. But but yeah, surfs up, dog. So the thing about it is um um I know there was something in here. They had a 10-year-old rescue dog that was up for that's who it was. I knew I'd find it. This is James Wall brought his dog Faith, a 10-year-old rescue dog, up for the competition, and he took first place in the very large dog category. So he must be used to surfing to save people. So wow, this I really did enjoy the Surfs Up, guys. And go find it on YouTube if you can. It was definitely a interesting competition. I enjoyed it way more than the surfer guys that do the big waves. I was getting a kick out of these dogs because some of them, their owners will push them and they jump off. And it was like, I think you lost your little dog. And they wouldn't, sometimes you hold your breath for these little guys because they would go under and you're like, okay, come up, come up, come up. And you'd be worried about them and they'd pop up or the owners would get them. So, uh, Surf's Up, go watch it. It was very fun and interesting. Um, the If you didn't hear about Olivia Newton-John, she passed away yesterday. And then the famous Grease car signed by Olivia Newton-John is up for auction. Um, and that is today. So can you imagine the price of that car now? Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of. When I seen it, I went, whoa, she just died and that's autographed. Um, so I think this car is going to be a hot commodity today. So if you're interested in this car and you got a lot of money, go put in an auction or a bid on it. Um, they say that uh, the event is in Monterey, California, for August 20th. You still got time. The black custom 1949 Mercury, known as Hell's Chariot, was raced by the villain Crater Face against Danny Zuko's Grease Lightning down the Los Angeles River culvert in one of the film's iconic scenes. Hey, I'm going to show you this really quick. Um, the culvert, we put those in to help with water going to LA. This is early California stuff. And they did that so that we wouldn't run out of water in California. Huh. How good did that work? Uh, you know, and when the water does run through there, you can get this, you can get a metal detector and you can pick up a little gold in places up in the higher parts of this culvert up around Sacramento. So, wow. All right. So the car is up for auction. All right. Florida alligator found with a knife stuck in his head. What? Oh, my goodness. So, um, hey, someone's trying to kill the alligators from biting. Maybe this guy got bit and he stabbed him and limped off or something. He was found with a knife in his head, they said, and he had to be euthanized. Well, there's some gator bites right there. Anybody ever ate alligator? It tastes like fishy chicken. I don't care much for it. I don't like fishy chicken. It just don't taste right. But anyway, we do hunt gators down here. But if you've never had gator, give it a shot. So the alligator was 4 feet 9 inches long. That's a youth, what we call a youth here. And the alligator trapper caught the reptile, the officials say. And he says, due to the injury in its head, it was humanely euthanized. And a Florida alligator with a knife in his head in Deltona Pond. The alligator that was found was swimming around the pond and captured Sunday by a trapper that felt sorry for the little guy. A little, because he 4 foot. That's a little guy. You take the tail off, that's about probably about that long. So he's just a tiny little alligator. Those are the ones you could probably catch, Mary, by yourself. Would you catch one if you seen a knife in its head? Huh? How many of you guys would catch an alligator that small with a knife in its head? You just have to stay away from his face. You gotta jump on his back, Mary, first of all, and then you gotta squish his head down. You think you think you could do that? Mary's like, no, show me. Mary's like, you do it first, and then I'll do it, right? No, Ellie, don't jump on gators. So, all right. So let's. I'm going to move along. So the alligator, they didn't find out who did it. They have no idea. And of course, the little guy had to be euthanized instead of put back in the water to get bigger to bite us. Yeah, I don't know about that. You know, they make it sound like it. Poor little gator. Well, they bite. I mean, you get in the water, they're going to bite you. Uh, so, not this kid. All right, let's move on. Tyson is going to raise the prices of chicken. I hate to tell you guys. It demands shifts from expensive beef cuts. Um, the Tyson Donnie King told analysis that despite of the economic environment where cost of goods continue to increase, um, how basically, however, they're shifting away from high price meats to continue to surge. And basically, Monday, they saw specific strength in its chicken segment of cuts of meat, and such as breakfast sausage, bacon, throughout a 3 month period. And though it's raised prices on meat to offset the higher cost. According to Reuters, the company raised chicken prices slightly more than 20%. Now, I heard they're going to raise them about 20%. So there goes the cheap chicken. Time for chicken feets. Mary, I'm telling you, we're going to have to eat chicken feet and beaks or something. Maybe China has a thing on this chicken thing that we don't know about. And we're going to start eating all the parts like they do. Some good old chicken livers. We might not be using them for bait down here in the South. We might start using them to eat um, with the cost of chicken going up. Um, wow. Here we go, guys. Chicken is going to go up, and they say it could go up as much as 20%, and that's a good hike in chicken. Um, if I was you, before the prices go up, you go out and get a bunch of your leg quarters that sell really cheap and cut them up and start freezing them. Stock your freezer, because if you buy a lot of chicken, you're not going to want to buy it for a while. All right. Heck, Mary, I might get done early today. I'm going to cross my fingers on that one. Social media mourns a dog mayor of Idly Wild who died at the age of 9. Um, he's a cute little guy. Mayor Max, the beloved canine leader of the town of Idly Wild, California, has passed away at the age of 9. He's known for his friendly golden retriever face around town. Mayor Max rose to stardom when he took office in 2013. He even appeared in CBS News and quite a few other news publications. Um, about his large presence in a small town and drew visitors from far and wide, they say. Um, so in the statement to Mayor Max's Facebook last week, his owners shared the circumstances around his death, and it came after an emergency surgical procedure. So he has passed away. Let me show you a picture of this guy. I'm pretty sure I could show it. So there he is. There's the mayor. So, and when I found out about him, I had to look all over, and the only place that had it was Yahoo, um, which is odd that we didn't have it in the lifestyles of some of the other news organizations, but no one had it but Yahoo this morning. A friend of mine said, "Hey, you remember that dog that became mayor long time ago?" I said, "Yeah, I thought that was weird." And I said, "Didn't have the town have a weird name?" And she said, "Yeah, idly, wild." And I said, "Wow, huh?" So yeah, the dog mayor, you know, the mayor's no longer going to have a bark unless they find another one that is just as good as he is. Um, so hats off and a salute to the mayor dog that was in office longer than a lot of mayors. I bet you'd bite certain politicians, like the ones in San Francisco area. So, all right. So, time for the funny list. Um, boy, I found one with the tooth fairy. Um, that you might leave a note or the let's see the tooth fairy is leaving notes for parents and children maybe. I thought this was kind of odd. Usually it's kids. It says, "Dear," is you could fill in the blank. Thank you for leaving this tooth under your pillow last night. While we make every attempt to leave a monetary reward in case of lost or stolen teeth, we are unable to process your request for the following reasons indicated below. Well, the tooth could not be found. Is the tooth real? The tooth fairy isn't going to crawl in your mouth and see if you're missing one. Uh, it was not a human tooth. Uh, what kid pulled the tooth out of the dog or the cat? That's the first thing I thought. Was like, huh, not a human tooth. Someone's being mean to their pets. We do not think that pieces of chicken bone are very funny. Uh, we were unable to approach the tooth due to excessive odor. Brush your teeth, folks. That's bad when the tooth stinks. Huh. Nothing but the tooth. Ooh. All right. The tooth has previously been redeemed for cash. Can't collect twice on the same tooth, Mary. Have you done that? No, I can't do that. No, no. Um, the tooth does not process fingernails. I don't know about that. Your request has been forwarded to the nerve ending fairy for the appropriate action. You were overheard to state that you do not believe in the tooth fairy. Well, you don't put the tooth fairy, you don't put your tooth under the pillow or in a glass of water, whatever, or on the counter if you don't believe in the tooth fairy. And there's no leaving little traps either, miniature little nooses and traps for the tooth fairy. No, that gets you nothing. That gets your little brother or sister in trouble too, because then they're very curious. All right. So you were overheard to state that you do not believe in the tooth fairy. Yep. You are age 12 and older at the time your request was received. Well, dang it, I was going to go have a tooth pulled and put it under and see what if I can get $1 million or at least the winning lottery ticket. Oh, well, so much for being over age 12. You don't get money. Hearing that, parents, keep that in mind. The tooth fairy said so. The tooth is still in your mouth. No, you can't have a loose tooth and claim that it's, that must be when they try to claim it twice. Um, the tooth was guarded by a vicious fairy-eating dog at the time of our visit. No nightlight was on at the time of our visit. The snacks provided for you leave snacks? No, only Santa Claus gets snacks. Okay, the snacks provided for the tooth fairy were not satisfactory. Who leaves snacks for the tooth fairy? Candy. Yeah, leave her like a pile of big old candy and see what happens. You get a penny in your under your pillow. All right, we discovered evidence of unsafe tooth extraction as follows: string, pliers, gunpowder, hammer marks, chisel, part of the skull attached, yikes, to the tooth, and no dental care. Instead, the usual cash redemption, we have provided the following certificate, which you may exchange at the retail store near you. Thank you for your request. And we look forward to your tooth being there, being a truthful tooth, and to serving you in the future. Oh boy. I'd like to know who wrote that one. All right. So, of unavoidable laws. We'll get this done real quick. So, there are unavoidable laws of nature in the universe. Some of them sound like this is for men. The law of mechanic repair. After you wash your hands, um, and not after you wash your hands, after your hands become coated in grease, your nose will begin to itch or you'll have to pee. Um, Law of the workshop. Any tool, when dropped, will roll to the least accessible corner. And that happens with anything. Anything you drop on the floor rolls to under the couch. And then you can't get down to the floor. And then if you get down to the floor, you can't get back up. And then you're like, help, I've gotten on the floor and I can't get up. My kids get a kick out of that one. Anyway. The law of the phone. When you dial a wrong number, you never get a busy signal. Law of an alibi. If you tell the boss you were late for work because you had a flat tire, the very next morning you will have a flat tire. Um, Variation law. If you change lanes, if you change lines or traffic lanes, the one you were in will start to move faster than the one you are in now. That's the truth. Um, Bath theories. When the body is fully immersed in water, the telephone rings. Yeah, yep, that's true. How many of you take the phone with you to the bathroom now? I don't. I'm afraid TikTok and China's watching me. They record what I do in the bathroom. How embarrassing. No, I don't take the phone to the bathroom with me. They would be definitely listening and taking pictures. They'd have 57 8x10s of me going to the bathroom. They'd use it for blackmail too. They'd send it to Hillary Clinton. Uh, so the law of biomechanics, the severity of the itch is inversely proportion to the reach. Yep, theater rule. At any event, the people whose seats are the furthest from the aisle arrive last. Law of coffee. As soon as you sit down to a cup of hot coffee, your boss will ask you to do something, which will last until the coffee is cold. Um, Murphy's Law of lockers. If there are only two people in the locker room, they will have adjacent lockers. Law of dirty rugs and carpets. The chances of an open faced jelly sandwich landing face down on the floor coverings are directly correlated with the newness, color, and the cost of the carpet. Okay. Law of location. No matter where you go, there you are. The law of a logical argument. Anything is possible if you don't know what you're talking about. Brown's law. If the shoe fits, it's ugly. What brown shoes? Did you see the alligator shoes? I put a joke up on my Hellions, Holes, and Poles, and also on my um, regular page. They're like gator shoes with these weird looking toes and claws, huh? Or they're lizard shoes. I don't know. They're ugly though. Oliver's Law: a closed mouth gathers no feet. Wilson's Law: as soon as you find a product that you really like, they will stop making it. Yes, I agree with that. So that is it for this morning, folks. We didn't run uh, we didn't really have a super long show, but I try to keep them around 30 minutes. And we'll find out about the bubbling at Lake Hudson. Um, wow. And poor little our mayor over in California, the doggy is gone. So come on back in 30 minutes for our news show. And it's a pretty big show this morning. Uh, I might get angry, Mary. You guys might see me bang my fist on my desk once again. Oh boy, stuff that's happening in this world. So please subscribe and share with family and friends and let them know about the morning weather show. Uh, we like to put a tickle in your step and warm your heart with our news. Uh, so hit the bell if you haven't been receiving a notification that we're on. Um, and over on Facebook, hit the follow and like. You guys have a wonderful morning. And if you want to come back and watch the news, it'll be in about 30 minutes. So you guys have a wonderful day and enjoy the cooler weather. And God bless.